Hazel? Oh, Hazel. This is where it comes from. I know now. A terrible thing is coming.
What do you mean?
Look. The field. The field. It's covered with blood.
Blood? Don't be silly.
Where's it up at Bradley Golf Course?
Yeah, Bradley Golf Course Club. That's, I think, your grandma's 50th birthday, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I've never been in it in Thailand.
Welcome to Bradley Park Golf Club. We've got an honoured guest today in Mr. Sheerman. We think often I call a politician honoured, but there you go. First time for everything. Clearly it's about, say, Bradley Park Golf Course. We're very, very pleased that he has found the time, thanks to Michael's great efforts. Seen all the correspondence over the last few weeks. And yes, Gary, our MPs do occasionally respond. Is that right?
I know, he called me a slack mugger.
All in favour, say aye. So without further ado, Michael.
I'm Michael Schofield. I'm just a local resident here. I just take my dogs around, be a bit upset in that building with that brown raspberry. You know, there's filthy old sanatorium, the Milton Lodge. We're running out of green space, really. You know, it all seems to be concentrated in Bradley. I've seen him in 47 years. He's gone from a place where there's some other places to play with children to, you know, now they're going to build all these out. There's lovely little footpaths and lots of deer and badgers. It just seems such a shame just to lose this. Also, a lot of problems with chemicals nearby and a danger to. And I know for myself that I drank that water out of that stream when I didn't know about it. Well, they explained why I'm not So I ask you just to please reconsider. I just have no.
Okay. Can I have... Thank you. I was a bit worried when Michael looked at me and said, you not building. I'm not a councillor. I could discuss with my council colleagues who are here this morning, who are, like me, opposed to building on this golf club. Absolutely, you know, all three councillors, your MP, don't like these proposals. Now we understand, because we're sympathetic to the plight that Kirklees are in, that they're being so cut, you know, with services and services, you know, year after year, right into the future. I met the leader of the council yesterday to discuss a number of things, including the golf course. Yeah, and I said I was opposed. All three councillors are opposed, and although we understand how much pressure is on them to, you know, they're selling off farmland, you know, local authorities are selling off farmland, they're selling anything that doesn't move in order to, you know, to pay the bills. And of course, one of the most sensitive of all those bills is the increasing responsibility local councils have to care of the elderly. You know, and it is, you know, absolutely, you know, a bill and a demand that never ceases to grow, and the cost implications for every local council in the land are, you know, absolutely horrendous. It's absolutely destroying their budgets for everything else. And it's dreadful, isn't it? We get to the stage where, do we want libraries and municipal golf clubs, or all the things that we've been used to, yeah? Or do we give up or do we get it? There's no choice. We should be able to do both, shouldn't we? So let's go back. I used to work for ICI. I was one of the, I had a hand, had a lead hand in persuading the then ICI to give an old tip to build the new football stadium. So some of you, you know, Well, that's a good use of an old tip, isn't it? Well, this is a good use of a tip as well, and I wouldn't want us to start disturbing some of the stuff that is under the football ground or under the places quite close to this. So this is
That's it. That's where we have to be. Looking at the strength, do you want us to climb? Yes.
Charlton have one.
With the management parking resident for 2 years. The arguments around infrastructure seem to be very important to people who live in this area, in particular the traffic implications for Bradley Road and that sort of thing, and the proposed closure of the A&E at Huddersfield rather than Birmingham. And I wonder where we stood and how strong are those arguments for
This gentleman has no chance.
I'm Nigel Barrett from Park Hill. I'm just wondering how subservient Kirklees are to the requirements of the Leeds City region. My impression is that the housing that's being proposed for Kirklees isn't to benefit Kirklees residents. It's because Kirklees has been nominated as a dormitory town for Leeds or Manchester, and that the requirements to put housing close to the motorway are for primarily Leeds workers and not to benefit us.
I think that's a complex one. I mean, it is a complex one, isn't it?
It's dancing to somebody else's tune.
Yeah, I mean, I take that, but you know, the backdrop is the population of the world is growing exponentially, and the UK population is growing pretty darn fast. And all of us, as I, you know, carelessly produced lots of children and grandchildren, you know, we've all got to have somewhere to live. There is a natural, real, you know, positive. As the MP, there's a bit of me is glad that people want to live here, and we need to build houses here because it means growth and investment. There's, you know, thinking in one way, yeah, rather than being some parts of the north of England where no one seems to want to go or buy a house or build a house. That's not true here. You know, I go down to Westminster to shout for this place is a right place to come and live, invest in. You know, if I do that, one of the natural repercussions is we've got to find somewhere for us to live. And very often, very special sorts of housing. You know, if it's deficiency in one area, say for older people or people who want bigger houses, you know, it's getting that mix right. But sometimes I do think of it, you know, there are some parts of Greater Huddersfield, I think, it needs the investment of new housing. You know, you mentioned Bird's Edge. You know, to be a proper village, it needs investment. What's wrong with that? Here, it's complicated, but it's not one thing. If I thought it was as well organised, if the Leeds City region was well enough organised, even think the sort of thought you're thinking, I would be amazed.
I've seen this in print.
Well,
Kirklees has been Calderdale have been nominated as dormitories.
Well, there is a truth. Yeah, there is a truth. There's a lot of people I represent work in Manchester and work in Leeds. That's the truth, because we're now a service economy and the big service jobs are there and there. And of course, that's why I'm fighting for the Trans-Pennine Expressway, getting a decent rail service and all those things. So, you're right, but you're right, you're right, but I think I'm right, that you know, people do want to live here, they've got to travel.
If we need dormitory housing for Leeds, the better way would be to start a new settlement, perhaps over the eastern side near the M1, where you can start again from scratch, put the infrastructure in, put the road network in, so people can commute there, rather than try and wedge it into a space that's already struggling. If you want 40,000 houses, build a new settlement, a new development.
I think we're going to have to do both. You know, this country has been lagging recently. You know, the Victorian times, the garden cities that were developed, more recently after the Second World War, the new
What
towns.
was the last new
Yeah,
town?
I don't think there's enough imagination in terms of new settlements.
Is that
The only one
something
has
we
been,
lobby for?
the only one that I lobbied for was Ebbsfleet, which has that amazing rail line, and every reason to be built because it was all brownfield land. And so far, Barry seems to be in charge. I've only built 40 houses. But it is, I take your point, it's a good point, but I hope we get the balance right in it. One more. You
No,
want to
no, can we just take the last question from Parnell Ryan, please?
Yeah, my name's Parnell Ryan. I've been the golf pro here for the last 34 years, and John's my successor. But could I just say that I've read in the paper that there were too many golf courses in the area, and in one sense that might be quite true, but they're all private clubs. If you go up the road, it says no public right of way, trespassers will be asked to leave private property. You go to Woodson Hall, it's still the same, big metal gates across, you cannot go in there, and private property again. Our gate says open to everybody, general public, everybody welcome. And I've personally seen thousands and thousands and thousands of people over the last 34 years get into this wonderful game of golf. They're all sat in this room now. Well, they've gone on from here to the private clubs. We've been a nursery for all the other clubs. We are totally unique to every other private club in the area. Even the current captain of Fixley this year, he started here. As he said, his family didn't play golf. He wasn't allowed to go to his private road, and people don't believe he can go there. But I think Bradley Park has been completely unique to every other golf course, and you can check with every golf club in the area, and I bet we've got probably 30 to 40 members of every club that started the game here because it says welcome there, and we've all been made up.
That's a brilliant point. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we're a total nursery for every other golf club.
Could I ask Mr. Sheerman, last question if possible. We're all gathered here. How do we form a fighting force to prevent that planning proposal going through?
I think in a sense we have this morning. This is the first meeting of it, isn't it? Yeah. Residents, people that walk through here, love this place. This is up to you guys, I think, to get the organisation with your councillors. You know, you've got them here. You want those on board. You want me on board. But the real force is, you know, you've got a real energy here that's and expertise, professional expertise that is second to none. So it's now going to be, you know, the signs are starting. This gentleman had a very quick last question, and I'm sorry, I do have to get a train to Manchester. You know, the East Coast line is out, so we all just got to go.
Oh, that's one of the things I'm talking very, very quickly. I'm treasurer of the Halifax and District Rail Action Group. Our chair, Steve Waring, went to the Railway Development AGM, and there was a suggestion that it became include Huddersfield as well, because Huddersfield doesn't have one. Now, just down the hill, you've got Brighouse Station. You've got a car park that wanted to be extended, but unfortunately, the private land was bought, and there's an office block being put there. Since the new franchise, Arriva trains have got the franchise for the local stopping trains in this area, in this region. They're improving services through Halifax and Manchester and on to Bradford and Leeds. But there is a train, 1 per hour, which comes through Brighouse, along the Calder Valley, and through to Leeds that way, with the direct service. It doesn't run on a Sunday, and we've campaigned to have it run on a Sunday, and it's not going to happen. The problem is the infrastructure down at Heaton Lodge Junction, we want to put a suggestion to improve the infrastructure so the Transpennine Road is completely separate from the local services where the crossovers to join. And trains are not held up at Heaton Lodge Junction. We want to see at least 2 trains an hour, Brighouse Leeds during the day, and at least a Sunday service. As I say, it's just down the hill from here, and if you're fed up with queuing in your car, get on the train, and you're there in about, fairly quickly.
I'm not sure what that's going to do about saving Bradley Park.
No, it isn't.
But if we can just sort of conclude the.
It might bring more people here as well.
Yeah.
Well, that is a very good point. I love trains. But on Thursday I was on my feet in the House of Commons, arguing, you know, when are we going to get the Transpennine electrification? I have to tell you, I pointed out that the one in the southwest is 4 years behind. They've got no rails done, but the trains have turned up and they're parked on sidings for something that's 4 years waiting. So I'm a great rail fan, but I take your point. Let's get on with it.
I didn't say it wasn't important, you know, but anyway, that's by the by.
I didn't want you thinking
Look, I had the same trouble with you on New Year's Eve, so be quiet for a minute. Can I, on behalf of everyone present, thank you very much indeed for your time this morning, Brian. And also to Ken and Amanda, lovely to see you again. And James. And James, yeah. Thank you very much indeed for that. Thank you for everybody else turning up. You know, Barry is on a short time. We have to get him out to the tip when we've the captain and Martin there ready to take him over there. But it isn't often when Barry makes a speech that he gets a round of applause. So what I thought we'd do, well, usually when he's in the house, I promise not to mention that again. So if we could put our hands together and just thank Michael particularly as well for his effort, just to put his hands together and show our appreciation. Your support is greatly appreciated.
Ken, we got a team. Let's fight the fight. That's the main thing, isn't it?
Thank you very much indeed.
Are they going for the going to look at ICIT, you see? Supposed to be anyway. Yeah?
Kendall Low Quarry Road, is it?
Yeah. Turn up. What are they doing? I'll get them here for a week. I can just zoom in on them, you see. Gonna be on the turn. Nope, it's the same looking now. They're not quite the same colour.
I didn't like the guy that was studying.
Who? Yeah, we're a counsellor in. It's part of Care Police Council, you see. I thought you were going to ICIT anyway. So it didn't seem to be going now.
Probably having a picture. Running a I recognise it.
Who?
In the boxes. Big one.
Big guy, I think I've seen him before.
I found a barrow basin under that beech hag with a great hall and no smell of death or disease.
Oh, Frith on the hills! He made it all for us!
Frith may have made it. Thyva